keep telling you guys, this is exactly why you need to listen to the Football Junkies podcast. Because, oh my God, right now we have a source off going off right now on Twitter, okay? On one hand, you have people that are saying Liam Cohen might get the head coaching job tonight. On the other hand, you got people saying that Robert Saleh is in Jacksonville right now because he has an interview tomorrow with Jacksonville. And then you have other people that are saying he never even got on the flight to go to Jacksonville. Man, oh man. Do we have a lot to talk about in this episode, as well as Aaron Glenn going to the Jets. Jaguars, Raiders, and Saints are looking for a hero. They're looking for a leader. But we also have to talk about the offseason and draft forecast. Okay, I have to get my forecast, okay? Bills and Chiefs preview and the Commanders and Eagles preview, okay? All of this and more. 62nd episode of the Football Junkies podcast, the best football podcast that you can listen to on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis, okay? I am your host with the most, okay? Your GM who currently is not on the team right now, but don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it, my fellow football junkies. I am your chief Bagrodamus, okay? I am your chief head of the table. Everything that is related to the bag and more, as well as draft, free agency, trades, you name it, I do it. I'm that guy. But most importantly, the most important title that you must remember is I am your host, Kale. You already know how I'm about to do this. You already know what I'm about to say. So guess what? You're excited. I'm excited. Let's do this thing. 1, 2, 3. Let's lock in. All right, folks, let's just get into the meat and potatoes of everything that is going on in the league. Man, oh man, am I excited right now. I got my phone propped up because I don't know what's about to happen within the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even by the time I'm done recording this episode. But man, oh man, do we have a source off going on Twitter right now, folks. And man, oh man, is it good. Let's do a little bit of unpacking when it comes to the Liam Cohen situation. So originally he did interview with the Jaguars, right? And so basically what happened was he left. He went back to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers were one of the highest paid offensive coordinators in the league, right? And so everyone is thinking, okay, that's over with. Okay, cool. And so I think, what was it? It was either the same day or literally the next day, the Jaguars fired their GM, Trent Blake, if I'm not mistaken. They fired him, right? And then shortly after, that's when all of this happened. And Liam Cohen, flew back to Jacksonville. And he hasn't talked with anybody from the Buccaneers. Like, when I tell you things are going on right now as we speak, as I'm recording this episode, this is an ongoing fluid situation right now. My question is this. Did the firing of Trent Blake influence Liam Cohen to decide to back out of his choice of potentially inking a deal with the Buccaneers to be a head coach with the Jaguars? That I don't know. I don't have any insiders for that. But I will say this. It is a dumb decision. And the only reason why I say that is because there is a lot of uncertainty with the Jaguars. Let's be real here. It is an unstable organization from top to bottom, from the ownership all the way down. You don't know who the GM is because the GM just got fired. You don't really know what is about to happen moving forward with the team because Trevor Lawrence has not lived up to that contract. He has not lived up to being the first overall pick of his draft class. What exactly is the Jaguars going to do at this point? The Jaguars are at a crossroads and they have to figure out exactly where are they going to take this team. Are they going to go to the left and try to, continue to go into the same wall and try to see if they can fix Trevor Lawrence? Or are they just going to say, you know what, let's bring somebody in. If they can't fix him, we don't know. We don't know what to do at this point. Because right now, you're just cycling through coaches and none of them basically have the answer. On top of that, being with the Buccaneers, it's a more stable situation, okay? You have Baker Mayfield, you have Mike Evans, you have pieces around, okay? If you stay with the Buccaneers for one more year or wherever the term of the contract is, that's not going to hurt you because guess what? By the time that contract is over with, most likely there'll probably be 2 or 3, maybe even 4, options open that are much better options than going to a burning tire fire that is the Jaguars. No disrespect to them, no disrespect to any of the players, but there is a lot of dysfunction. If I am a coordinator who is looking to be a head coach, I am going to a place where there is stability from the ownership all the way down to the front office. That's where I'm going. I'm not going anywhere where there is a whole bunch of uncertainty and the owner has fired, four coaches in 3 years, and I'm just not doing that. I need stability. I need promises. I need guarantees. I don't need, okay, well, we can do this or, oh, we can do that. I don't need that. What I need is guarantees. And if you cannot provide me with guarantees, then there is no need for me to put in my bid for this head coaching job. I don't care what pieces they have. I don't care what quarterback they have. I am not putting myself through that because guess what? When you get fired, that tarnishes your record. That doesn't tarnish the front office. That doesn't tarnish the ownership. That tarnishes your record. Let's get into the stuff that we had to talk about, and that is Aaron Glenn going to the Jets. Before I get into my opinion and whatnot, let's just go and do a little bit of background about Aaron Glenn, because a lot of people don't know who Aaron Glenn is. I didn't for a moment. So he was drafted by the Jets with the 12th pick in the 1994 draft, okay? He played for the Jets from 94 to 2001, then the Texans from 2002 to 2004, then the Cowboys from 05 to 06, the Jaguars for only one season in 07, and then the Saints in 08. He was the Browns' assistant secondary coach from 2014 and 2015. He was the Saints DB coach from 2016 to 2020. And then, of course, he was the defensive coordinator for the Lions from 2021 to 2024. And he basically signed a 5-year deal with the Jets. Now, this is what I will say. This could potentially curve any negative emotions and feelings that any of the players that were about to be free agents had about the team and the direction of the team. Because now you have somebody that's been with the team. I understand Aaron Glenn was a part of the team before they even, thought about getting into the league and whatnot, but he can relate to the players. He can give them assurances that I think they were trying to get. Because let's be real here. Robert Saleh ran out of New York, and he was literally the only thing that was keeping that team afloat. It was not because of Aaron Rodgers. It was not because they traded for Devontae Adams. It was none of that. It was because Robert Saleh was keeping things afloat. That defense played a whole lot better when Robert Saleh was there. Because look, once Robert Saleh was fired, we saw how that defense played, and it was a complete 360. So again, you have someone like an Aaron Glenn, who is going to help with this defense because the defense has pieces. It's a really good team. It just needed leadership. That's all it was. It needed consistent leadership from top to bottom. And now you have that with someone in Aaron Glenn. On top of that, when you have someone like a Quentin Williams, a Sauce Gardner, who else? CJ Mosley, for instance. Having someone like an Aaron Glenn that can talk to them and relate to them and can say, hey, listen, I was once a player. Tell me what you need from me so that we can take this team to the next level. Because let's be real here, folks. And I'm just going to be completely honest with what I say. People, you can disagree all you want, but this is how I feel personally. The Jets right now are the second best team in their division. And if they get their act together, I guarantee you they're going to give the Bills problems. If they hit on their free agency moves, if they hit on their draft picks, I guarantee you this team is going to be a problem because they have certain pieces already in place. All they really need to do is just work on the offense and just figure out exactly what is the identity of the offense. Are we going to be passing more? Are we going to be running the ball? Are we going to be physical? What exactly are we going to be? When we look at the quarterback position, that is a little bit of a rocky situation only because Aaron Rodgers is sort of like in this Brett Favre type of mode where he's like, this might be my last game. This may not be my last game. I want to go, but I don't know if I really want to go. Keep me, don't keep me. I don't really know if I want to play anymore. Listen, if he doesn't want to play anymore, you bring in someone that's going to be a bridge quarterback. You are telling them you are the bridge. Well, actually, you know what? No, don't tell them that because they're not going to sign with you. But you basically get somebody, you put them on a 2-year deal that's actually going to be a 1-year deal, and you prepare for next year's draft because next year's draft is a much better quarterback draft class than this year. There's no need for nobody, well, outside of the Browns and maybe the Titans, to draft a quarterback. Just being honest here. But I'm going to save that for our segment when it comes to the offseason and draft, okay? So let us get into the Jaguars and Saints and why they are continuing to be on the search and the hunt for a head coach, for a leader, for somebody to help them and rescue them. Let's be real here. The Saints are in cap trouble, okay? If I'm not mistaken, they are negative $52 million. They have no cap space. Cap space does not live or reside in New Orleans, okay? I don't care how many times they restructure and push your money down by a few years and add a few, ghost years and do this and do that. Guess what? At some point, the rubber meets the road and you are going to have to make the ultimate decision, which is destroy everything all the way down to the grass and just build it right back up. Because at this point, it's not a good destination for anybody. If I'm any of those veterans that is on that team, I'm out of there. I don't want to stay here because guess what? I don't want to be a part of a rebuild. I done gave 12 or 13 or 15 years of my career to this team, and now we're at a point where we're not going anywhere. You have a quarterback that has already said he's not willing to take a pay cut. What exactly is there to really build off of? Sure, you have Alvin Kamara and you have Chris Olave, but those are only two people. You need the rest of this team to be something. At least be a little bit competitive because right now, the Panthers, the Buccaneers, and the Falcons have more upside and a brighter future than what the Saints do. But that's only because those teams went through their trials and tribulations of going through a rebuild and missing on draft picks and, whiffing on quarterbacks and all those different things. So now the Saints have a tough decision that they have to make. Not to mention, I think, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if many people do not want to work with the current GM for the Saints. Maybe if an insider, reports that, then, we can do a little bit more of a deep dive with it. But I'm just going to leave that, that conspiracy theory there. But when we look at, all the other stuff, as I said before, the Jaguars, in their situation, it's unstable ownership. Shad Khan is unstable. He is someone is not, in my mind, I would say, fully committed to football. And the only reason why I say that is because outside of the Jacksonville years where, you had Jalen Ramsey and Calais and Telvin Smith and Miles Jack and AJ Boye and Leonard Fournette and Blake Bortles and, Allen Robinson when he was actually a dog and whatnot, they have not done anything. They have been struggling. They have been grinding. And for what? You're going in the same place that you just were. And that is nowhere. The division is weak. You should be able to compete with the Texans for the division title every single year. On top of that, you gave a quarterback who doesn't even deserve that type of money. You basically gave him top 5 quarterback money when he's not even a top 5 quarterback. Just saying. On top of that, you have, notable names like Mike McCarthy, Pete Carroll, Spags, Patrick Graham, and Joe Brady, who, in my mind, I think they're waiting to see what other openings may happen, as well as maybe they'll, just wait another year. I think for Spags, he'll probably just stay with the Chiefs. There's no need for you to go anywhere else because guess what? You're one of the best defensive coordinators in the league right now. Nobody can stop you. You're literally working with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. You're literally working with one of the best offensive-minded coaches of all time. There's no need for you to go anywhere. You're winning Super Bowls. Who cares? Now, Mike McCarthy, I probably will wait. There's no need for you to go to the Raiders. The Raiders are in the same situation as the Jaguars. And the only reason why I say that is because they don't have a quarterback. All they have is Brock Bowers and Max Crosby. That's all they have. They don't have anything else. And again, it's no disrespect to any of those players. None of them. But what in the world can you do with a tree limb and a brick? Nothing. Nothing at all. You cannot build a 2-story mansion with just a brick and a tree limb. It's not going to work. That is a multi-year process where they're going to have to hit on their draft picks and on their free agency signings. Okay? I would not touch that. I will wait for maybe the Bengals job to maybe open, or any of these other teams in any other situations to open up. Just wait. You'll be fine. Now let's get into a little bit of this off-season and draft talk. Okay, let me just give you my forecast. Okay, as a chief meteorologist when it comes to everything related to the bag and the off-season and the draft and all those good things and more. So this is just my analysis. I could be wrong. Okay. This is a strong D-tackle class, corner class, and running back class. But let me get into the running backs, okay? Let me just show them some love. We could legitimately see 8 running backs be drafted in this year's draft. We have some legit running backs in this class. This could be a historic running back class. You have people like Omarion Hampton. You got Caleb Johnson. You got both of the running backs from Ohio State. You have the running back from Kansas State. I can't even think of his name. I think it's, what is it? Devin Neal, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I'm not butchering it. You got Ollie Gordon. You have so many different running backs, it's ridiculous. And they're all different types. You got your power backs, you got your speedsters, you got your hybrids, you got your elusive backs, you got it all this year, okay? Which means that most likely a lot of teams who do need a running back, they're definitely going to make that a priority in this upcoming draft. Now, when we look at corner is also a deep class as well, okay? Of course, you're going to have, Will Johnson and the Benjamin Morrisons and the Siobhan Revels and, all those different guys. But you still got some dogs in that day 2 and day 3, okay? You still got Jahdae Barron. You got, I can't even think of his name. I'm having a brain fart. The guy from, Kentucky, I think. You got him. He's a dog as well. You got Kobe Bryant. Yes, his name is Kobe Bryant. It is not spelled with a K. It is spelled with a C. I am not joking. I am being dead serious right now. You have options at corner if you are a team that is looking for a corner. Steelers. Now, moving forward, okay, when we look at D-tackle, it's the same thing, okay? You got Deion Walker. You got Derek Harmon, if I'm not mistaken. You got, who else? Jordan Phillips. You have so many D tackles that you could go after. Like, this is a really good class for all 3 of those positions, okay? And I would not be surprised if a few teams, Steelers, would double dip in this draft class. Just being real here. For the quarterback class, I would say it's about average-ish, maybe. More-ish than average. And the only reason why I say that is because the only 3 quarterbacks that probably will have a consistent first-round grade will be Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and Jalen Milroe. That's it. There's nobody else that you can say is a first-round, quarterback. Quinn Ewers, I don't view him as a first-rounder. No disrespect to you, dog, but I don't view you as a first-rounder. I view you as someone that could be a second or third, maybe even a fourth. I would say that. Who else? Jackson Dart, you are a shot in the dark. No pun intended. That's a good one. I'm going to have to keep that. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to keep that. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? You have Will Howard if he declares, like, it's just not good. And so my prediction is a lot of teams are going to wait until next year, because next year you're going to have Carson Beck and a whole variety of other quarterbacks that you can choose from, okay? And even the free agent quarterback class, it's still not good, because the number one quarterback that everyone's going to be interested in is who? Sam Darnold. Nobody else. Now, Justin Fields, that could be a quote-unquote cheap option. You're going to have Russell Wilson. You're going to have Daniel Jones. You could possibly have Kirk Cousins. Like, even then, those aren't really good options, folks. I'm just being real with you guys. Okay? Now, somebody is going to make the dumb move, and they're going to overpay Sam Darnold. They are. And that's probably going to mess the quarterback market up even more. But outside of that, I don't see a whole bunch of friction going on with quarterbacks, okay? Now, when we look at some notable free agents, you're going to have T. Higgins, Javon Holland, Chris Godwin, Trey Smith, DJ Reed, Khalil Mack, Byron Murphy Jr. You're going to have some good notable names in free agency. Now, the question is this. Are teams going to be super crazy like how they have been in that first wave of free agency? Or are they going to, wait things out and then, make their moves? Because what I'm starting to see is with free agency is it's a lot of veterans, okay? A lot of veteran free agents who are sort of like at the tail end of their career, who are trying to get into a situation where they can win or at least compete for a championship, right? Someone like a Khalil Mack. Most likely he's going to be heavily recruited by a lot of the Super Bowl contending teams. Because even at his current age, he is still a very, very, very productive pass rusher. Okay? I would not be surprised if someone like the Ravens or the Eagles, please God, no. Just please, for the love of God, no. Or the Bills or anybody else would try to, see if they can get Khalil Mack. Now, people like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Javon Holland, they're going to get the bag. They're going to get the bag. One of those three or two of those three are definitely going to reset the market for sure. And it's definitely going to be Jamar Chase. It's probably going to be Javon Holland. Just saying. Now, T. Higgins, I don't know, because it's a little bit tricky with him, because on one hand, I do think he's going to get paid fairly well, but I wonder would he be willing to take less to stay in the division so he can beat up against the Bengals. But at the same time, both T. Higgins and Jamar Chase have both said that they would be willing to take less to stay with Joe Burrow. So only time will tell with that. And as I, said before, more teams are going to prepare for the 26 quarterback draft class than this year's draft class. Because the only three, like I've said before, that everyone's going to love and everyone's going to be obsessed over is Jalen Milroe, Shador, and Cam Ward. And even then, you know what? I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop the hot take. I think Jalen Milroe draft stock can rise fairly high, because I think he's going to take the Bo Nix route and just participate in everything. From the Senior Bowl to the Combine, every workout, he is going to do each and everything that everybody asks him to do. Instead of what Cam Ward and Shador may do, which is they may only, participate in private workouts and at their pro day. No disrespect to them also. So only time will tell. We all know free agency gets a little bit crazy. We all know there's going to be a surprise, release, or someone will be, floated around for trades and whatnot. So you already know the Football Junkies podcast is going to cover any and all of those things. Now let's get into these two games, okay? So Bills and Chiefs. We already know this is legacy versus dynasty. Yes, folks, legacy versus dynasty. And the reason why I say that is because if Josh Allen wins, this moves his legacy into a great place, okay? But you're going up against the dynasty, and that is the Chiefs. And we all know the referees are going to favor the Chiefs. We all know that. We all know that the Bills are going to have to be on their P's and Q's when going up against the Chiefs. We all know that. But let's get into these junkie nuggets, okay? So the Chiefs have the 5th highest blitz rate this season at 35.6%. And by creating free rushers, they generated a league-high 49 unblocked pressures on blitz. Most likely, they are definitely going to move Chris Jones around, and they're probably going to do the same for George Karlaftis. So be on the lookout for that, because I'm telling you, just when you think Chris Jones is on the edge, nope, he's in the middle. He's getting ready to come through, and he's going to try to create pressure in Josh Allen's face. Now, we all know that Spags loves to blitz. We all know that he likes to send a variety of blitzes and different people to do his blitzes. Sometimes he'll use his pass rushers. Sometimes he'll use his middle linebackers. Sometimes he'll use his nickel corners. It's all a part of the Spags plan. Okay. During week 11, okay, the Chiefs blitzed Josh Allen on 37.8% of his dropbacks. That is the third highest blitz rate that Josh Allen has faced all season, including the playoffs. Okay. But here's the most interesting part of this. Josh Allen, when he was blitzed, when he faced more than 5 rushers, was 8 for 16, 108 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. But when he was facing less than 4 rushers, he was 19 for 24 for 154 passing yards. That's the recipe, folks. That's what it is. We all know that the Chiefs are going to come at Josh Allen quick. They are going to blitz him. They're going to put relentless pressure in his face. I don't blame them, because guess what? Josh Allen got wheels too. He can roll out the pocket and he can run too. So I don't think nobody really wants to, see that tank head on 1v1. I don't think they want that problem. But let's keep on going. Spencer Brown has allowed the fewest, well, actually not fewest, but the lowest pressure rate among right tackles at 4.8%. Okay. Brown has allowed only 3 pressures this entire season. That is one of 3 right tackles to allow only 1 sack. He is going to have a busy day because his dance partner is none other than Chris Jones. Okay. But I do believe this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I cannot wait till the all-22 footage comes out for this, because I want to see that all day. I want to see just that one specific matchup, okay? Sean McDermott's defenses have allowed 35.7 points per game and 450.7 total yards per game against the Chiefs, including the playoffs. They have allowed 18.3 points per game and 331.4 total yards per game against all other teams in the playoffs. I'm just being real here with you. The Bills' kryptonite is the Chiefs. It is. Sean McDermott does not do well when going up against the Chiefs. I don't know what it is, but man, he shrinks. I'm talking about when Mario hits the little dudes and he goes do and he gets super small. That's exactly what happened with Sean McDermott when he goes up against the Chiefs in the playoffs. Hopefully that does not happen with this one, because bro, we are relying on you. Okay, we are entrusting all of our love for this game into you guys. Please beat the Chiefs. Please just dethrone them. Can we just have one Super Bowl where it's not the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, please? I don't even care if it's the Bills and the Commanders, which I think that might actually happen. And if it does, you heard it here first on the Football Junkies podcast, okay? Just saying, all right? Just saying. But come on, guys. You guys got to get over the hump at least once. Even if you don't win it, you got to do it. You got to do it. Let's get into the final game, and that is the Commanders versus the Eagles, okay? So, Saquon has averaged 162 rushing yards per game in the playoffs. That is the most by a player within a single postseason. Saquon Barkley is on a historic campaign this season, okay? Even if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, even if they don't win the Super Bowl, if they do make it, which I don't think they are going to make it. I'm sorry, Ron. I'm just being honest here. People are going to look at these highlights in the next 3 years. Well, actually 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised. But this goes to show, well, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I was right there. I was going to do it, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give in. But let's just keep on going with these junkie nuggets, okay? The Commanders lead the league in scoring at 34 points per game in the playoffs, while the Eagles have allowed 16 points per game in the playoffs. That is the second fewest in the league. Man, oh man. What is the best way to have an NFC championship or even an AFC championship matchup than your own division rival? The team that you have to face twice in the regular season. Man, oh man. This is going to be a good game. Not to mention the last regular season game between these two. Guess what happened? Jalen Hurts was out. He got concussed. He didn't know his left from his right. Okay. This game, a lot is riding on this game. If they lose to the Commanders, most likely some people are going to get fired. And Nick Sirianni is probably going to be the first one to get fired for sure. So hopefully that does not happen. But man, oh man, this is going to be a great game, and I cannot wait to watch it. But here is the last junkie nugget, and that is, when loading the box this season, the Commanders have allowed 4.2 yards per carry and negative 10 rushing yards. So expect for them to load the box against Saquon Barkley. Expect for them to be physical. Expect for them to try to stop the run as best as they can. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to eliminate Saquon Barkley, because he can still do his thing, whether it's, going up the middle, bouncing outside, whatever. He's still that guy, okay? But expect for them to load the box and expect for them to meet Saquon right where he is. But I'm going to end this episode here. If you guys like what you are listening, please like, share, subscribe, download the episodes, leave a 5-star review on anywhere that you listen to the Football Junkies podcast. Now, for my people, Football Junkies Pod, okay? You can find us on YouTube, Football Junkies Pod. When you go on our YouTube, there is a link. You click on that link, that is the link tree. It will take you to anywhere and everywhere that we have Football Junkies content. I just posted some clips and I just posted some mock drafts on TikTok. Let me know your thoughts on that, okay? As well as, do you guys want me to start putting mock drafts on the Twitter as well as my Instagram as well? Let me know and I will do it. I have no problem doing it at all. For my TikTok people, Football Junkies Pod, okay? Football Junkies Pod. Clips. There's more clips coming soon. Just wait on. I won't give you all the clips today. No, we're going to spread this thing out, okay? Now, for my Instagram people, Football_Junkies Pod, okay? Football_Junkies Pod. Junkies Pod is not what? It is together, not spaced, okay? It is together, not spaced. Did I cover everything that I need to cover? I think I did. Nope, I didn't. I knew I was forgetting something. Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at GMKale, okay? GMKale, all right? Kaile. Follow me on there. And for Blue Sky, for my Blue Sky people, all right? Follow me, GMKale as well, all right? GMKale, Kaile. As always, I hope I gave you guys the fix that you guys need. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Man, oh man, are we going to have something to talk about next week? I would not be surprised by the time I am done editing this episode and putting out this episode that Liam Cohen will be the next head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if and when that happens, man, oh man, are they screwed. Man, oh man, are they screwed. But as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. This is your GM, Kale, signing out. Peace and love. Later.